Welcome everybody. This is our weekly book discussion from the 52 book challenge. My name is Fernando Sosa, and I'm going to be talking a little bit about the book called Tribes by Seth Godin. This is book number 6. I actually had a confusion. Book number 6 was supposed to be the Talent Code, but looking down the list, both books begin with a T. The book cover is white, so I confused the book, and I picked Tribes instead. Next week we'll be going over Talent Code. So, but it was a good book. Okay, so I'm gonna just go over my key takeaways, and this book is a short book, and I listened to it on my audio and Audible in 2x speed, 2 times the speed. So I finished it in a little over 2 hours. So it was a good book to read, simple, quick. I mentioned in last week that I kind of developed the attention of listening to the books at 2 times the speed. You really have to sit down and be focused because it is going fast, right? But you are able to listen to it, but you just have to really not multitask when you're listening to it, and you're able to get through the book rather quickly. So that's what I've been doing. And one I wanted to share with you, I actually got my mother to read an audiobook for the first time. I shared with her the book that we discussed last week, Man's Search for Meaning. I really liked that book so much that I looked it up in Spanish, and I wanted to share that with my mom. And so I went ahead and I helped her. I actually gifted the Audible. I sent her a gift, and I sent it to her, and I helped her create her Amazon account and listen to it. So I had her reading that book. And that was pretty cool. So yeah, I mean, reading is fun. If you find something that you like, tell me about a book, and we can add it to the list of books to read. And it's always fun to share with somebody else. So that's my story from last week that I shared that with my mother. So hello. Thanks for being here. Now, so this book, Tribes, is, like I said, it was a quick read, short book, very concise. I liked it a lot. Tribes is something that Seth talks about, and he basically is talking about groups of people that are following a leader, and they're connected to one another because of some common idea that they're sharing, or that they share some common vision. And I really like this book because he points out from the very beginning that there's a difference. There's a difference between being a manager and being a leader. There's a difference between management and leadership. And that's something I knew that from a long time ago. I've seen this concept or this idea in other books, but I see that I don't think people realize it as much, that there is a difference between being a manager and being a leader. A manager typically is hey Alina, thanks for being here. So a manager is typically a person that has a job, a role to have some type of work done in her organization, and it has people working for you, and their main job or responsibility is to get the job done and get the people to do the job that they are tasked to do. Leadership, on the other hand, is more about the people. It's not necessarily about the rules and the policies that have to be followed. It's more about getting people to actually take action and take initiative, and eventually they'll do what they need to do, but not because they're forced to do, not because they're paid to do it, not because they are coerced to do it or persuaded, but because they want to do it. So when somebody is a leader, they will take care of their people and try to have them grow. And it's more about the people rather than on the job. So the manager will be more focused on getting the job done, and managers can be leaders, right? They can be leaders, but sometimes they're like split into totally two different things. And ideally, you will have a manager that is a good leader as well. But so the manager will be focused on getting the job done, but helping the person grow and eventually become a manager or become whatever they want to do. So it's about the people as well. So that's kind of the main thing difference there. And Seth gets into this, and he gives a couple of examples in the book. And so that was one of the takeaways for me is that instead of focusing on the rules, on the KPIs, you're focusing more on the people, and you have a vision, right? If you have a vision or an idea, and you share that vision and idea with other people, if those people have share the common interests in that idea, in that vision, they will do much more for you than if they were just following rules, getting paid, paycheck to paycheck just to do their jobs, versus somebody that's following the vision, right? Ideally, you want both of them both together, but sometimes you want to create a tribe, and you want to have people follow you in what you're doing, and you don't necessarily have to pay them, right? As long as you have this common thing and common idea that they're willing to follow and promote, that is the bottom line in terms of tribes and leadership. So a tribe is basically a group of people connected to each other, right? And they all the tribes have a leader, and all leaders have a tribe, right? And there's no leader, right, without a follower, right? They go hand in hand. One thing that he mentioned that is also a takeaway for me is that he talks about the concept of superfans. Superfans, he says basically that you don't necessarily have to have a zillion fans or followers. What you can have is like a handful or a number of them that are super fans, because the message gets more diluted when you have more people. So like, for example, if you have, it basically goes down to the concept of quality versus quantity, right? So super fans is that, like, instead of focusing on, I want to have, like, I don't know, 5,000 followers and 5,000 friends on Facebook versus 100 really good friends, right? Which one would you take? You sometimes, in business or in marketing or in life, really, a lot of times we focus on the numbers and not necessarily the quality of the numbers. So you can get away with less that is high quality than with a lot that is diluted. So he talks about that. He also talks about the concept of being a sheep walker. And this part was interesting, but basically he defines a sheep walker as the outcome of hiring people who were raised to be obedient and just follow the rules and keep them in line, right? How are sheep taken care of? Sheep just go in line, right? If there's like a dog, a sheepdog, a shepherd, right? What is it, a sheepdog? That you have a stick and the sheep just go straight. A lot of times that he compares that with a lot of times people that don't take initiative, and they just do what they're told, and they don't necessarily follow their vision. They're just following somebody else's vision. So he encourages you, or he tells you, that don't be a sheep walker, to take initiative. And when he's talking about the concept of tribes and leadership, that is a key component in terms of having initiative. Because one of the big differences between a lot of people is that some people, they want to do something, but they don't take the initiative to do something. It's not just about having an idea. It's about who takes action, who implements that idea. And that's the one of the key differences here. The other thing, this reminds me, basically the whole book is about that. Tribes, connecting people, having, an idea and having people follow you to, to implement that idea and bring it out into the world. It reminded me, for some reason, of a story or a parable from the Bible, called the talents, a parable of the talents. If you're not familiar, parable is just a story. There's a lot of stories in the Bible called parables. There's a parable called parable of the talents, and that this had to do with a man that had some servants, and the man he had a lot of money. He was a wealthy person. He was going away for a trip, and before going away, he gathered 3 servants. And one servant, he gave 5 talents. It's the equivalent of money, some type of a currency. So you can say $5, for example. He gave one $5, he gave another one $2, and he gave another one $1. And then he left to his trip. And then when he came back, he gave them the money so they can do something, see what they did with the money. So when he came back, the person who had $5 or talents, he actually invested those $5, and he traded it, he invested it, he actually multiplied it and had $10. So he gave the master his 10 talents, and the master was very happy because he did well with the money. The one with 2 talents did a similar thing. He invested it, and at the end, he actually had twice as much. So he gave him 4 talents, and he was very happy. The master was very happy. The one with 1 talent, he actually hid the talent under the ground because he was afraid. He told the master he was afraid that he was going to lose it or somebody was going to steal it, and he put it under the ground. So here's my talent, master. I didn't lose anything. But the master was very upset because he didn't utilize the talents for anything. So the moral of the story of that story is that you have talents, right? You have your God-given talents. And you need to use those talents. You don't need to put them under the ground. You need to take initiative and use the talents, your God-given talents, to do whatever it is that you're meant to be doing with those talents. You have to discover what they are and utilize them, take initiative. And you might find other people that could be the leaders of something that has the vision that you have and you want to follow them, or you can be the leader yourself and you can have other people follow you. So this book reminded me of that. I can see this apply in many areas in life. Not necessarily work. It could be work. It can be in business. It can be, with friends, family, a club, or anything. If you want to have a tribe, a group of people that share a common interest and follow you, then it's about an idea and a vision. So you want to communicate and have clarity on what is it that you want to put forward, and then communicate that to the people. And then if it resonates with them, then they will follow you, right? So if you can look at history, right? Leaders, right? You can think about, I don't know, Martin Luther King Jr., right? For example, like leaders that have gathered people, right? They have an idea, they communicate it, and then they have the followers, right? And that they're not necessarily paid for, they're not forced, right? They're just because people, the more that it resonates with them, the more, the more tight-knit it's going to be that tribe or group. So the book goes into a lot of examples like that. And so I think it's a good book, again, because you have to see it, that it can apply in a lot of areas in your life. And that's the way I saw it. I saw it in just many ways. So so that's pretty much it for, if you want to participate or read together the next book. The next book is going to be The Talent Code. And again, we're going to do this every Mondays at 8 o'clock. Hey, Cynthia, thanks for being here. Yeah. Herd mentality. So next book is Talent Code. That's the book number 7, 52 book challenge. So you can see the list of the list of books on the website. Next week, Monday at 8 o'clock, we're going to do it again. And I'm going to have fun reading this other book. So if you want to join me, pick up that book on Audible. Is a quick read. You train yourself to read it at 1 times 1.5x, and then you can maybe get it to 2 times the speed, and you can read it rather quickly. It's fun to do this. For me, it's not just about reading. It's not a rush. It's not I'm not pressuring myself. I'm like studying this, right? I'm reading. I'm making notes of what I'm reading, and then I'm talking about it. It's a much better experience than just reading, and it will be much better if we have other people as well doing the same thing. So that's all I have for now. I'll post comments, or we'll talk again in the next video. All right, take care.